Have you ever felt an unseen presence around you, watching or even influencing your life in subtle ways? The spiritual realms are full of mysterious forces, some friendly and others not so much. Two types of entities, known as monitoring spirits and familiar spirits, are particularly noteworthy. But what are they, and why does understanding the difference matter? While both types of spirits can keep an eye on human affairs, familiar spirits are said to pose a much greater threat than monitoring spirits. Knowing how they differ could be the key to protecting yourself and your loved ones. Let's dive into these mysterious forces to uncover the risks and learn why familiar spirits are considered especially dangerous. Understanding monitoring spirits. Monitoring spirits are like quiet observers in the spiritual realm, watching from the shadows, gathering any tidbits they can find. Unlike an all-knowing deity, they aren't omniscient. They're limited to the information you reveal. Much like a detective who only works with clues left out in the open. Picture a hawk circling from above. It's constantly watching, but it can only act based on what it sees. Similarly, monitoring spirits listen, observe, and wait for moments when people reveal important information, hoping for a slip-up that might serve their purpose. A powerful example of how monitoring spirits operate comes from the story of Samson and Delilah in the Bible. Samson, a man of incredible strength, possessed a secret tied to his hair, a detail he was supposed to keep hidden. Delilah, acting as a type of monitoring spirit, repeatedly tried to uncover the truth of his strength. She used a blend of charm and persistence, asking again and again, seeking that one moment when Samson might reveal his secret. Just like a skilled interrogator, Delilah's goal wasn't to harm him directly, but to know enough to make him vulnerable. Her continuous questioning finally paid off, and once Samson disclosed his secret, she used it to bring about his downfall. This story illustrates how monitoring spirits operate. They gather information patiently, knowing that, at the right moment, knowledge can be more powerful than any direct attack. This concept highlights why it's wise to be cautious about what we share and with whom. Just as Samson's strength was only at risk once he spoke his secret, monitoring spirits rely on what we choose to disclose. They thrive on details, our hopes, dreams, fears, or plans that we might unwittingly share with the wrong people or even in moments of vulnerability. Think of it like leaving a door slightly open. Only then can a watchful outsider slip in. While these spirits don't possess any inherent power over us, they can use the information we freely provide to cause stumbling blocks or delays. They become like invisible adversaries, using what they know to influence our path. In a practical sense, this means guarding your words, especially regarding personal or sensitive information. Not everyone around you will have the best intentions, and even a seemingly innocent conversation can sometimes serve as fuel for spiritual interference. Imagine you're planning a journey. Monitoring spirits are like spies gathering details on your route, hoping to place obstacles in your way or slow down your progress. By keeping certain things private, you protect your goals from unnecessary interference and prevent these spirits from gaining the knowledge they need to act. Understanding monitoring spirits teaches us a valuable life lesson: the power of discretion. Just as Samson's fate hinged on a single secret, our words and actions hold the keys to our personal security and progress. It's not about being paranoid, but rather about being mindful, about remembering that not everything needs to be shared. Guarding your words is like putting up a shield, keeping potential adversaries at bay, and in doing so, You create a space for yourself where your dreams and goals can flourish without unwanted interference from the shadows. Real-life application of monitoring spirits. Monitoring spirits often work subtly, blending into the background of everyday life, but sometimes they find their way into our lives through familiar faces, people we know well and trust. It might be a friend who asks you seemingly innocent questions about your plans, or a family member who always wants to know what's next for you. Imagine them as conduits, vessels, through which monitoring spirits observe, often without the person even knowing. Just as a spy might plant someone close to gather intel, monitoring spirits may use those who are naturally close to you, blending their intentions with genuine curiosity, making it nearly impossible to detect. Their questions and conversations appear harmless, like a gentle river, but could carry the potential to stir up unforeseen obstacles in your life's path. Many people have experienced sharing exciting news about a dream or goal, only to watch things fall apart shortly afterward. It's a familiar feeling, almost like a curse or jinx. Perhaps you've told a friend about a new job, a relationship, or an upcoming trip, and suddenly everything unravels. Plans get cancelled, opportunities vanish, or unexpected setbacks creep in. This isn't magic, but rather the natural effect of sharing private matters with the wrong people, those who may unwittingly act as open channels for monitoring spirits. Think of it like blowing on a dandelion. Each word you share spreads tiny seeds of your intentions. When those seeds reach the ears of the wrong people, they can turn into obstacles, waiting to grow in the most inconvenient places along your path. In practice, this means choosing your confidants wisely and guarding your words. When you keep certain things to yourself, you create a shield, reducing the chances of interference. Even those closest to us may unknowingly work against our goals when they are under the influence of these spirits. It's not about distrusting everyone, but recognizing that some conversations are best kept within. A secret is like a precious jewel. When hidden, it's safe. But when exposed, it's vulnerable to all who see it, well-intentioned or not. And once spoken, those words hold a new kind of power, capable of both building up or tearing down your dreams. The old saying goes, if you watch your mouth, you don't have to watch your back. This simple truth carries a powerful reminder. When you choose your words carefully, it's like wearing armor that protects your ambitions from unwanted eyes. It's about keeping your dreams close, guarding your hopes like a candle in the wind. Silence, in this case, is strength, a shield that keeps monitoring spirits from having anything to work with. By maintaining a mindful silence on certain matters, you prevent those subtle influences from gaining the foothold they need. Ultimately, the way we handle our words can determine our protection. Not every dream should be shared, and not every plan needs an audience. Think of yourself as a gardener, tending to delicate plants. Just as a gardener wouldn't allow pests to trample their garden, you shouldn't allow unnecessary exposure to weaken your goals. By keeping some things sacred and private, you secure your path, shielding it from the unseen forces that may wish to disrupt it. So, hold your dreams close, guard your words, and trust that this discretion will keep your path free of unnecessary interference. Introduction to familiar spirits. Imagine an influence that feels as close as family, one that seems to know you better than you know yourself. This is the nature of familiar spirits, entities that operate with a far more intimate and invasive touch than monitoring spirits. While monitoring spirits merely observe and gather information, familiar spirits go deeper. digging into the heart of personal connections and histories. They aren't random observers, but rather work from the inside, like a shadow that's always been there, following family lines, ancestral bonds, or long-standing friendships. These spirits are said to attach themselves through generational ties or those we're closest to, almost like invisible threads woven into the fabric of family trees, waiting to be tugged at the right moment. It's this closeness, this sense of familiarity, that makes them even more dangerous, for they know exactly where the vulnerabilities lie. Familiar spirits don't just aim to collect information. Their goal is often to steer, influence, or even control aspects of one's life by tapping into deeper, generational patterns or weaknesses. Think of them as cunning weavers who subtly manipulate the threads of family history, using shared experiences, past traumas, or long-held beliefs as tools. They're like old wounds that seem to reopen without warning, or like a pattern that keeps repeating in different forms, generation after generation. Perhaps you've noticed cycles in your family, traits or struggles that seem to follow you, no matter how much you try to break free. This is where familiar spirits work best, exploiting these recurring patterns as if they're guiding hands pushing individuals along a pre-set path of hardship or limitation. These spirits can operate through people close to you, such as family or trusted friends, embedding themselves in the words, habits, or even advice that may sound innocent, but subtly keeps you in a certain mindset. Imagine sharing your dreams with a loved one, only to receive words of doubt or discouragement that feel all too familiar. It's as though this spirit is speaking through them, using their voice to plant seeds of doubt. This makes familiar spirits far more challenging to spot, as their presence is masked by the comfort and closeness of trusted relationships. They can blend into the background, influencing you through suggestions, fears, or memories that feel natural, but in reality, keep you tied to past struggles. Familiar spirits also exploit vulnerabilities passed down through generations, whether it's a family tendency towards certain behaviors, mindsets, or even spiritual struggles. Picture a river carving its way through rock over centuries, shaping the landscape in subtle but undeniable ways. These spirits use the grooves of history, channeling energy through well-worn paths of weakness or limitation that each generation seems to inherit. The effect is almost hypnotic as they influence decisions, habits, and beliefs, making it seem as though breaking free is impossible, as if the flow is too strong to resist. Understanding familiar spirits is about recognizing these patterns and acknowledging that some influences aren't just coincidental, they're intentional. To protect yourself, it's essential to become aware of these unseen connections and the influence they might hold. Just as a gardener must pull weeds that threaten to choke their plants, we too must address the weeds in our own family histories that hold us back. Familiar spirits thrive on unexamined connections and unbroken cycles, and only by becoming conscious of these ties can we begin to cut the cords. Recognizing their influence is like turning on a light in a dim room, revealing forces that have quietly shaped our lives. It's a reminder to look beyond the surface and see the spiritual patterns that shape our lives, breaking free from limitations that may have bound our families for generations. Biblical example: Jesus' temptation. The story of Jesus' temptation offers a powerful example of how unseen forces can twist even sacred moments into opportunities for harm. After Jesus was baptized, a deeply spiritual event unfolded. God declared him as his beloved Son, marking him for his divine mission. It was a profound moment of affirmation, like a father's proud proclamation to the world. But just as a shadow follows light, this sacred announcement caught Satan's attention, and he began to plan his approach. Here, Satan acted much like a monitoring spirit, listening in, collecting information, and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. He didn't move before this declaration. He waited until he heard those powerful words that identified Jesus' purpose and mission. Armed with this knowledge, Satan saw a path to undermine Jesus' mission before it could even begin. Immediately following this baptism, Jesus went into the wilderness to fast and pray, a time meant for preparation and spiritual strength. Yet Satan saw it as an opportunity to attack. He waited until Jesus was physically weakened, and then he appeared, hoping to exploit that vulnerability. With cunning words and carefully crafted temptations, he tried to divert Jesus from his divine path. Each temptation was designed to target Jesus' identity as God's Son, the very identity revealed at his baptism. Satan's approach was sly, like a wolf circling its prey, using the information he had gathered to create tests that would strike at the heart of Jesus' mission. He urged Jesus to turn stones into bread, a temptation aimed at his hunger, and then challenged him to prove his divinity by leaping from the temple, trying to make him doubt the very relationship God had just confirmed. Each temptation was like a trap, baited with the very words God had spoken, twisted, and used against Jesus. This story shows how monitoring spirits, or in this case, Satan himself, operate. They lie in wait, observing, and then acting strategically, hoping to derail someone's purpose by using the very truths they hold dear. Satan's knowledge of Jesus' identity and mission wasn't omniscient. He didn't know everything. Instead, he used what he had heard and twisted it to craft temptations aimed at throwing Jesus off course. It's similar to how monitoring spirits observe the details of our lives, listening to our dreams and plans, and then using that knowledge to create obstacles that seem perfectly tailored to test our resolve. Satan wasn't interested in minor setbacks. He wanted to shake Jesus' core purpose. Jesus, however, didn't fall for these temptations. He met each challenge with strength and clarity, refusing to let Satan's schemes sway him from his divine mission. This serves as a reminder that while monitoring spirits may use what they observe to disrupt or discourage, their power ultimately depends on our response. Jesus didn't give in to doubt or fear. He countered each temptation with faith and scripture, grounding himself in the truth of his purpose. In doing so, he showed us that while monitoring spirits and dark influences might try to use our own truths against us, we can overcome them by staying anchored in our faith and our understanding of who we truly are. This example urges us to be mindful of what we reveal and to recognize that forces may try to distort even the most sacred truths to create doubt or distraction. Like Jesus, we can face these challenges by standing firm in our purpose and not letting others use our words or identities against us. It's a lesson in guarding the truths that define us and in recognizing that not every struggle is meant to be fought alone. Sometimes it's about resisting with inner strength, just as Jesus did, trusting that our mission holds power beyond any watching force. Guidelines for protection. Protecting your thoughts and words is like building a fortress around your most precious dreams and goals. In life, not everyone who listens to your plans is there to cheer you on. Some might, unintentionally, or even deliberately, bring negativity or doubt. Think of your mind as a garden, where your thoughts and goals are delicate plants. Just as a gardener guards against pests that could damage young sprouts, it's essential to guard your dreams and ideas from those who might trample on them, knowingly or unknowingly. This doesn't mean living in constant suspicion, but it does mean being mindful about what and whom you allow into the sacred space of your plans and aspirations. One powerful way to guard yourself is to choose carefully whom you trust with personal information. Just as you wouldn't leave valuables out in the open, letting everyone see, your thoughts and goals deserve the same careful protection. It's easy to assume that everyone around us has our best interests at heart, but that's not always the case. Sometimes, those closest to us may unintentionally voice doubts or fears that, like tiny seeds, can take root and grow into limiting beliefs. This doesn't make them bad people. Rather, it's a reminder that not everyone can fully appreciate the vision you hold for yourself. Confiding in just anyone is like planting a fragile flower in rocky soil. It's unlikely to thrive. Instead, it's wise to share your dreams with those who nurture them, people who genuinely support you and understand the importance of encouragement and belief. Guarding your words is also about practicing a quiet strength. Some dreams are like embers. They need time to grow in silence, fed by your own determination and care. When we speak too freely about our plans, it can scatter our focus, letting outside opinions shift our course. A helpful guideline is to pause before sharing something important. Ask yourself if revealing it will build momentum or merely expose it to unnecessary scrutiny. Think of it like protecting a flame from gusts of wind. Sometimes, silence is the shelter that allows it to grow strong enough to withstand any storm. Another practical approach is to maintain awareness of your environment and the people in it. It's easy to get caught up in sharing when we feel excited or inspired, but not everyone in your circle may be rooting for your success. Some may see your progress as a reminder of their own limitations and may respond with doubt or even envy. Recognizing this isn't about becoming mistrustful, it's about cultivating wisdom. Just as you choose to confide in friends who have shown they're trustworthy over time, being selective with what you share helps you protect your energy and shield yourself from potential discouragement. Lastly, remember that your thoughts and dreams are worth the effort of safeguarding. When you choose carefully what you share and with whom, you're creating a buffer that keeps negativity and doubt at bay. It's like standing guard over a priceless treasure. You invest time and energy in nurturing it, allowing it to grow strong in its own right. Protecting your dreams isn't selfish. It's an act of respect toward yourself and your path. By being wise with your words and discerning about your confidants, you're creating a solid foundation for growth. This quiet strength, like armor, shields you from outside influences, allowing you to pursue your dreams with clarity and confidence, untouched by unnecessary doubt. In a world full of voices and opinions, discernment and discretion are like having a compass and a sturdy shield for your journey. Deciding when to speak and when to stay silent is as crucial as choosing the right path in a dense forest. It keeps you moving forward with purpose, while also protecting you from pitfalls hidden in plain sight. By being mindful about what you share and with whom, you're not just guarding secrets, you're actively protecting the essence of your dreams, giving them the chance to grow strong without interference. Discretion in this sense is like keeping a fragile seed hidden underground. Only in the quiet darkness can it gather the strength to break through the soil and thrive in the light. Silence, when used wisely, becomes a sanctuary, a place where your ideas and goals can gather strength without being disturbed by doubt or derailed by outside influence. It's easy to feel that every thought or plan needs to be shared, especially in an age where openness is celebrated. But true wisdom understands the value of restraint. Not every friend, family member, or colleague can understand the depth of your vision or the road you're walking, and sometimes even well-meaning words can cast shadows of doubt. Just as you wouldn't expose a young plant to harsh weather, your goals need careful nurturing in the quiet, away from voices that may question or unintentionally discourage you. Keeping certain things to yourself doesn't make you secretive or closed off. It makes you wise. This discretion is a form of inner strength, a shield that guards not only your dreams, but also your peace of mind. Silence in this way becomes a layer of protection, a sacred boundary that ensures only positive energy surrounds the steps you take. Ultimately, silence has a unique power. Like a quiet river flowing steadily forward, it keeps you focused and unwavering. Practicing discretion allows you to move through life with purpose, ensuring that no outside force can easily sway your direction. When you choose silence for your own protection, it's a commitment to your personal and spiritual safety, allowing you to walk with a clearer mind and stronger resolve. In this protected space, you can align more deeply with your intentions and become more grounded in your path. Your dreams become like precious gems hidden safely away, shining brighter because they haven't been exposed to unnecessary eyes. In the end, the wisdom of silence is a tool for self-respect, self-preservation, and spiritual strength. By holding certain dreams close to your heart, you give them room to grow, untouched by opinions or doubts. Discretion isn't just about withholding information. It's a sacred practice that honors the importance of what you carry within. In a noisy world, choosing silence is like choosing peace. It creates a calm space where you can hear your inner voice clearly, guiding you forward without distraction. Embrace this quiet power and let it be a shield that protects you as you nurture your dreams, allowing them to flourish untroubled, safe within the sanctuary of your own spirit.